Hey everyone, it's me, Jeff Wood. You might know me as Minolta1034, and welcome to my new show, The Banter Block. I'm going to talk to you today about the Halo 5 beta, specifically about the information that was released by 343, and my thoughts about the beta, along with the thoughts of my guest, Dan Hamill, a.k.a. the Green Skull.
Yeah!
Why do you always do that? Why do you always have to do it that way?
Yeah.
You know how to speak. That wasn't happy enough. Open your mouth more. That's it. This is why this man's a professional. He's on Twitch, in case you didn't know.
Twitch.tv / your boobs are nice.
Wow. Someone is going to get some hits. Whoever has that username.
I love your boobs.
Mine?
No, your boobs are nice.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Dan, let's talk about the Halo 5 beta. Before we get into like the specifics of what 343 released, just give me your general thoughts about the beta. Just hit me with it, like an ocean wave.
Yeah, so before, this is assuming, so what we played, right? Like nothing with the changes. I enjoyed it. Like I thought it was, already better than Reach, better than 4. It was addicted. I love Breakout. I thought it's the best new mode to come to Halo like ever. And yeah, it was rad.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I felt the same way. I really, I started playing with people that I hadn't played Halo with since the days of Halo 3, it felt like, you know? And that was one of my favorite Halos. And it did feel very much the same addiction. Sort of, I did want to master Halo again, you know? Especially with the new abilities and everything like that. I thought it was a lot of fun. But there were some areas maybe I wasn't so jazzed about. And there were some things that maybe needed tweaking, but I feel like, and I think that you would agree, that the foundation is there. And it would be small changes. I don't think that there would need to be any drastic changes for me to be like, oh yeah, that's definitely, like this isn't a Halo game without X. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's nothing there that I would have said. Yeah. It would have been small tweaks, and that's what 343 has announced. Right? Yeah. We saw a post from Josh Holmes, and he's basically outlined how they're responding to the player feedback from the beta. And it breaks it down to a few different areas, and the first one is Spartan abilities.
Yes.
Right?
Well, right away, I like that they're tweaking sprint, so that there's a difference, not as big of a gap between base movement speed, which is also increased, and sprint. So it's a little bit, which I think is a totally fair compromise. Strafing movement's going to be a little bit different kind of thing. Like all that just general movement, I think it's going to be a lot better. I was most excited, I think, of everything about them officially announcing that they're taking ground pound off the crouch button. I died way too many times just like trying to get behind cover and just floating and getting my head shot off. So, they hurt. I still want it to be melee. I think melee makes the most sense to me still, just holding melee to come down.
Of course. Why wouldn't it be melee, right? That was one of the points that we both agreed on before when we were talking about this in the last iteration of our video.
The olden days.
Yes. It was unfortunate that 343 came out with all this information. And it's funny because a lot of the stuff that we talked about in the previous version of this show was exactly what they announced.
Do you still have that?
Oh, I absolutely still have the footage.
Cue the clip! Like, as much as ground pound, oh my god, I died so many times. I gotta quickly jump, so I would jump in the air, ready to crouch behind a barrier, and then I would just start floating above that barrier because I was holding crouch. They've really gotta fix that, oh my god.
So, after Spartan abilities, they moved on to talk about the specifics about the weapons. There were a few small changes that I think needed to be made.
Hydra buff, yes.
Yeah.
I complained about it in all my videos. I mentioned the Hydra. I'm like, I don't like the Hydra. It sucks. It's not a power weapon. It's a mauler and not a shotgun, right? Like it's all right. You can get kills, but it's like, and then there was this small percentage of people going, no, you were using it wrong, but seriously, you should be able to get a kill. If you're just firing it because I don't know, you take so long to zoom in, it's just, yeah. So
I was one of those guys that was saying, hey, the Hydra works, you just need to figure it out because you suck. But, having a buff to it just means that I'll be wrecking even more faces with it, which I love. I love wrecking faces.
It's bad, man.
Another thing that we talked about before was the automatic weapons and their power, especially when zoomed in.
Yep.
With a special consideration with the SMG and especially headshots, right?
It's unfair.
It's incredible how powerful it was, especially when you had automatic weapon starts, like the AR starts, and everyone was just using the assault rifle because, I mean, you could just literally zoom in on a guy's head and blow them away.
It was arguably better than the pistol in most cases, unless you were really, really good at it.
Yeah, unless you were some kind of pistol guy.
Yeah.
So they've definitely decided to take that back, which is another thing that we discussed.
Yep, absolutely. Like I'm glad that happened.
Cue the clip! When they're aimed down sights, I think they do more headshot damage, which I agree is a little bit odd.
Yeah, the automatics were a little too powerful.
Another thing to talk about, which was really interesting, was Josh came out and mentioned a survey that they had done of a broad spectrum of players who had played the beta, asking them if they felt that sprint should be removed from the game or not. And what were the results again, Dan?
11%, which I'm iffy about. Like, it doesn't sound true to me, considering there were polls all over the net, which would, I would personally say it's more, well, I mean, those specific polls would have it skewed more to like 60% don't like sprint. I would personally believe that the people who don't like sprint would be more between 30 to 50% people don't like sprint. I mean, it's just, you can argue that all day, but it's 11% seems way too low.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the things in this survey would have been a lot more 50-50. Almost literally everything. That's how I feel it should have been, just because people were undecided about a lot of features.
Nobody can ever agree on anything.
So I'm wondering if some of these points were like the survey was manipulated in a sense that they took into account maybe comments specifically. This is one of my thoughts about it, is if you 11% say they only looked at, for instance, for this specific stat, like, hey, give us comments about the beta.
Yeah,
not poll, because then I agree that not as many people would have even, maybe 11% of people would mention sprint, because if anything can be said about the 700 plus comments on my previous video, nobody mentioned sprint. About 3 people did, really, and they were like, that's all right, I don't see anything wrong with it. So I totally believe that if they only looked at people who specifically brought up that they didn't like sprint, it'd probably be more like 11%. So that's how I see it. So maybe they kind of did that in their favor. I think that poll-wise, it would have been a lot more half and half.
It's interesting to see, and obviously the problem here is that, someone's always going to question the results of a poll, however it's done, right? There's always a way to manipulate the numbers or the language in a certain way or the other, and you can't prove bias usually with these things, especially not unless you have all the evidence of the proof.
And I personally don't believe that sprint is the number one key factor on whether or not a game is fun or not. Like, I don't know why people seem to say that about Halo 4. I think there's a lot of reasons Halo 4 didn't have the staying power, but I don't think it was sprint. And sprint is implemented in this game. Like, it actually works in Halo 5, so
it's one of those things that, in Halo 4, I would play with sprint and everything, and then even now, when I go back to Halo 3, I don't think, oh geez, I wish I had loadouts. Yeah. I think, darn it, why can't I sprint?
It's thruster too. So thruster, even more so, I go into games and I'm like, I try to thrust away from things. I can't do it.
That's my other problem
why would people complain about sprint when you can thrust? How is that still the big issue, that you can run a little bit faster than when you can completely dodge everything ever, including grenades, with one button press? Why is that not the focus of hate? I don't get it. I do not understand.
Incredibly low cooldown.
Doesn't make sense.
It's not like you can thruster pack and then you can't do it for 30 seconds. It's every 5, I believe.
Seems a lot less fair and Halo-y than sprinting.
Yeah, it's really, really quick. Like, I can't remember the number of fights that I had where, like, you were 0 shields, but you're just tapping the thruster pack button. So as soon as you come back up, and that, they're missing shots.
I mean, I love it personally. Yeah. I'm just saying that I don't get why, like, when there's so many other abilities out there that seem a lot less Halo-y than running.
I completely agree. So another section that 343 posted, or Josh posted specifically about, was the presentation of the game.
And they're nerfing the bro. Yeah. The bro is being nerfed. People are upset about that for some reason, but I get it.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Like, you definitely, you don't want to appear like you never want to, with a game as big as Halo, you never want to appear like you're taking too much of a stance, right? And so you don't want to align, especially not with a group that, I mean, no offense, bros out there, I love you. But, I mean, like, not everybody wants to be associated with bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, especially for a video game. I mean, Madden would love to be, like, they love being associated with bros. But Halo,
they love the bros.
A little bit less. No offense, bros. Love you. Again, love you. But...
it's just Halo takes itself a lot more seriously.
That's true as well.
I would argue maybe then it should. It's kind of they've always been, especially even Halo 4, like they were tight-lipped about everything, and like they weren't even like taking feedback, so they've at least been a lot cooler about it. But it's they are very serious about the brand, so I can totally understand why they wouldn't.
No, I mean even remember their rules about taking pictures with Spartans at cons and everything like that. They are very specific. They want to protect the Halo universe, and you can't really blame them for that because it is a very serious universe with books and movies, TV shows. There's all sorts of media, and you don't want to tarnish that by being like broy.
And kill cams.
Kill cams are the next thing. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I want to just say cue the clip, but I feel like we should talk more about it. They switched it so you can toggle to see a kill cam because that's exactly what you need, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, boom, you get scoped by a sniper and you're like, okay, I gotta know where that guy is. I want to hit X right away and see that kill cam. But other times, you just want to watch yourself get teabagged over and over and over and over. Cue the clip! Oh.
Kill cams, but that's the final thing we're about to talk about. Like, I agree with the kill cams. A lot of people didn't like. A lot of the comments, almost some of the top comments there said, no more kill cams. Switch back over to seeing your dead. You can just turn around your dead body.
Well, it's really important to have that information. Like if they took the power weapon or something like that, again, it goes back to team communication. You got to say, whoa, on my X, they took my sword. They're going to red.
I'm totally okay with
something like that. All they need, in my opinion, just reverse what they have now. Instead of having the kill cam be the default, just make it so you push X to see the kill cam.
Killed you?
Because then, if a sniper got you from like across the map, you want to know where that guy is. So slam on X and you'll find out, right? If not, just leave it there and you can see somebody teabagging your dead body for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
In closing, Dan, how do you feel about Halo 5 moving forward? Now that we know about, we saw your opinions before, we saw what you thought, now we've seen the new information. It's been released. Has your opinion changed? What do you think?
It's literally everything, every comment I ever saw that were like, top likes on my videos and stuff, which were oddly enough never Sprint. That never happened. It's a totally different community, I guess, right? Like I'm not saying those guys are wrong by any means. I'm just saying my specific community, that like the ReadyUpLive guys, like people comments the videos, that wasn't a big priority for them. They were a lot more interested in things like kill cam and things like recharge time on like thruster and things like that. So literally everything these people said, they already now start changing. So I'm psyched about it. Like they really listened on this time.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Like I said at the start of the video, I really felt like the Halo 5 beta was a solid, like a diamond in the rough. It definitely needed a little bit of polishing, just as every Halo does. I mean, we can all, and then that's the other thing that I think people need to think about. I mean, they've also, something that we didn't cover, is they've allowed Sprint to be turned off completely in custom games. So if there is a real problem in the competitive scene, the custom game settings can be modified, and that's something that can be done. And Halo has always been very fluid and flexible moving forward. And so what I played in Halo 5, and with the information that I've just learned, I know that Halo 5 has a really solid foundation. Maybe it does need a little bit more polishing and a little bit more work. Maybe after these changes, they'll need another round of changes or a title update, and that can happen. But I think that what we've got here is a really solid Halo game, and I mean, I really hope that it doesn't change too much from what I've played. I mean, that's the main thing that I feel is I just want to play more of that specific Halo. It doesn't matter if I'm playing MCC or Halo 4 or whatever. I miss Halo 5.
I'm just not even playing Xbox anymore lately. I've been like PC gaming because I'm like, where's my Halo?
Exactly, like that's the thing. Is like
Halo 5.
No other first-person shooter can ever hold a candle to me. Like even today, I don't play as much Halo as I used to, but it's not like I'm picking up Call of Duty or anything like that. None of them do it for me. Even though I love Far Cry, I'm still not going to play that game for a while. But I'll always have that hunger for Halo. Yeah. And I mean, I'll be damned if that beta didn't trigger that hunger again.
Need more.
3, 4, 3! All right. Well, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Thanks to Dan Hamill, the Green Skull, for being on the show. And it's, it's like second taping of its pilot episode.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
First one was rejected.
Yeah, it was 343. And thanks to our brilliant director of photography, cameraman here, Aaron Gilbert. Oh wow! That wasn't in the dress rehearsal, but I'm glad that you did it anyway.
You're fired after this.
Yeah, we'll be firing. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot for watching, guys. As always, I am Jeff Wood, Minolta1034, and I will see you next time.
Hashtag YOLO swag.
Don't ruin it with shit like that.
Hashtag YOLO swag. Fire! Even you guys commenting here and on the forums at ReadyUpLive.com. Check out this awesome infographic. Blue team had the majority of the wins, which is funny because there's this long-standing idea that red team is always better. If I recall, there was some kind of